Hello YouTube. This video is going to be an unsponsored product review for the Lux Pro LP290V2. This is the flashlight that I showed in my melee passive video. Now, when it came to purchasing my first flashlight for the purpose of self-defense, there were three things that I was looking for in particular. The first was that it would be a tail cap activation system. So whereas most flashlights, they have a button here that they would, slide or press to activate, I knew I wanted it on the back, so it's activated this way. The second thing was that I had to have a strobe effect with at least 120 lumens. And then the third was that the flashlight would use a AA battery powering system. Now the reason why I wanted the flashlight to have a tail cap activation system is because when it comes to night defense in regards to the NRA's protocol, they usually say that the flashlight should be held like this. You would turn the light on and then the gun would come over this way. And so that's how you're able to see targets at night. Now the strobe effect with the 120 lumens, typically when it comes to blinding an attacker at night, it seems to be that 120 is kind of like the industry standard. And then of course the strobe effect is going to be kind of like that constant flashing light. And if you try, if you blind yourself, it's very hard to keep looking forward, when you have a very, very constant, like bright light flashing effect, especially at 120 lumens. Now, my personal reason for having the flashlight being powered by AA battery is more just convenience. I understand there are different powering methods that flashlights use. There's kind of like the circle around battery and the different types of those. And I just want it to be things really standardized, stuff that I already use. I'm a very utility kind of a man. I have these kind of, these Eneloop Pro rechargeable batteries, AA, and I used to use them mostly to play like my Xbox when I was younger, but I don't really play that anymore. So at least now this way I have, I kind of have a reason to have AA batteries. As a result, this flashlight satisfies those three main requirements for me. Now, the lumens for this is actually 280. It's a lot more than it should be, at least according to industry standard. And like I said, 120 is enough to blind somebody. But with 280, anything higher than that, I think what happens is that the person just is blinded faster, and it takes a long time for them, for their eyes to readjust to normal. The last time I did that, I was seeing spots for quite a while, Now, in regards to the flashlight itself, it's a very simple design. You can unscrew the bottom part, you can unscrew the top part, and the middle part is literally just a casing for the batteries. So it's a simple design, it's not overcomplicated. When I was in security, I've seen flashlights that have all kinds of crazy wires in the middle and you didn't know where it had to go, but this is nothing like that. The middle portion is just to hold the batteries. All the wiring seems to be either in the head of the flashlight or the tail cap button. Now the three functions of the flashlight is, the first is high, the second is low light, and then the third is the strobe effect, which is set at the high light position. Now I do believe that the flashlight has a memory setting. Basically what you have to do is, it's always going to go in that order: highlight, low light, strobe, high. So whatever the effect you want to be the first thing to happen, you have to set it at the at the setting before it. So let's say I want the strobe effect. So if I pick up the flashlight and I want this to strobe, then that means I had to have turned it off from the low light position. If you want to have the flashlight do the high light position, then you have to have turned it off from the strobe light position. Now I don't know if that is the most effective memory setting. I didn't see anything in the instruction manual about it, but it just seems that if you want a certain light setting, you have to have it pre-set up from the setting before the one you want. Now the rubber texture here in the middle, I find that that's a good material that really kind of, when you grab the flashlight, it's really easy to just put it, your fingers right where they need to be, and then your thumb is right here able to activate the tail cap button. I mean, I've seen some flashlights. I know my dad had, when I was a little kid, my dad had a big ass combat flashlight, and it was a very, smooth metal. And so you can see that in the rain or sweat that would move around too much. But I don't really see that happening with gripping material such as this. Another nice effect of the tail cap button activation is that it puts your hands in a naturally defensive fighting position. When you're grabbing the flashlight and you're going to activate it like this, you're already in a defensive fighting position, and I would keep it in your weak hand so that if you had to, you could punch somebody with your strong hand. I'm left-handed, so my left hand is my strong hand. If you're right-handed, then it's the opposite. But you can see that this is a very good position to be in from the start. It's very different if you had kind of like a press button, push button type of flashlight, then your hand is out like this. So you kind of have an anchor fulcrum for the enemy to grab onto. And even if they're blinded, they might still just charge you and try to, grab onto you, hold to something. So I find the tail cap activation as a nice bonus side effect. It kind of puts you in a defensive position right away. Now at this point we have to talk about some cons. Are there any cons to the Lux Pro 290 LP290V2? I guess it would be this. This is the clip for the flashlight, so that if you wanted to like clip it onto your belt or something like that, as you can see, it's broken. Now I don't know if I can call this a con because the way that it broke, I feel like, okay, if you don't know what to do, then I feel like it'll break. So here's the thing. This flashlight clip is hella strong. Okay, it's hella strong. So that's the nice thing too, right? If it's strong, that means the clip's not going to move. So if you have to have the flashlight, if you have to have the clip set in a certain position, at least it will never move. And that's true. But in this case with me, when I tried to take it out and I wasn't able to, it broke. So if you're going to use the flashlight clip, and however you're going to set it on the flashlight, you can only remove it from the sides here. So you can see that, yeah, right there, you can only pull it out from there or this side. If you try to pull it from here, then it just breaks. It just breaks. So that's one thing I would say. If you want to use the flashlight clip, then you can only remove it from the sides. Don't even bother with the clip. You have to, and it's really tough too. Oh my goodness. And there it goes. So that's I don't know, that's a double-edged sword. I mean, that's good. I mean, the clip will never move its position, but it's bad because if you're not too careful, then it can break. Now in my case, that's not a big deal. I've always seen this as kind of like an intruder flashlight, not something that I would carry on me. The only flashlight I would carry on me would really be the stun gun one, the flashlight stun gun one. This is really the only one that I would keep on me at all times. But yeah, other than having lower lumens, I know that this one has 120, which is enough. It's enough to blind someone, maybe not as quickly, and they may recover from disorientation sooner. But granted, this is not the reason why I'd carry this. I'd carry this for the stun gun purpose. And so, not having a clip on this isn't a big deal. That's really just for that kind of night defense, night defense type of thing. So, losing the clip wasn't a big loss to me. Now, I didn't realize this at first, but there is actually a way to quickly switch the settings of the Lux Pro from the high, low, and then high strobe without having to click. You have to click the button every time, you don't have to do that. You can actually just activate it one time, and then if you lightly push, it will go to the second setting and the third one. And so you can just go through all of them like that. So I didn't notice that at first until I was just messing around with it, but I would consider that a plus because, if someone breaks into your house, you're going to lose fine motor functions. And so just having an option where you're able to kind of switch to the setting you need to is it's a pretty good positive. Well, that's the review for the Lux Pro LP290V2. As I said, I had a certain criteria in mind when I wanted to buy the flashlight. It is serving mostly as that nighttime NRA combat protocol flashlight. I'm not using it for any other purpose, but it certainly can be used in another way. But for my intentions and purposes, this was kind of my first flashlight I got. I just made the outline, made the criteria that I wanted, and this is the one that fit. I'm sure there are better ones out there, but you know, until I take the initiative to look them up, or maybe this breaks down and I can't use it anymore. But yeah, that's what I use to consider melee passive. But I'd be very interested if any of you have far greater knowledge about flashlights or any other purpose that you use it for. I'd be very happy and interested to learn about that. Other than that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.